I grew up in London in the 80s in a very devout Muslim household. So I recited and memorized the Quran every day after school. We did our 5 daily prayers. I'd memorized the entire Quran by the age of 11. The 1980s in London was much more racist than it is now. We felt excluded, so although we were quite British in our behavior, we felt excluded from white society, and we felt we would never be accepted by British and English and white people. And therefore it was a natural thing actually to listen to the demagogues and the speakers who said your identity is first and foremost Muslim. And part of that was a lot of emphasis on jihad, the militant or military aspects of Islam. We're always taught that it's a great honor to become a martyr, to die for your faith, for Islam. And then eventually when the chance came to actually go to Afghanistan and fight with the Mujahideen against the communists just after the Soviet withdrawal, I jumped at that chance. We spent 10 days in Kunar in eastern Afghanistan, training and fighting with Mujahideen, 1 day and night at the front line, exchanging artillery fire with the communist forces. That was a great spiritual and military experience for me as a 19-year-old. But what it led to was I retained sympathies for the jihadi fighters, some of whom later became Al-Qaeda. Unfortunately, when 9/11 happened, I was so highly politicized and fed with hatred against the West, and especially the United States, mainly for its support of Israel, its perceived support of Israel, that I'm ashamed to say I actually celebrated the 9/11 attacks. But I knew that was wrong. Something inside me knew that was wrong, and I did a lot of soul searching after that. And I suppose the final wake-up call for me was the July the 7th bombings in London itself, 2005, the city I knew and loved. I also realized that some of the angry rhetoric and extremist ideas which myself and my colleagues had helped to promote in Britain for the 10 to 15 years previously had actually led to the July the 7th bombings partly. So I felt partially responsible for what had happened, and I decided that it was my duty to stand up and speak out against this extremism. I've seen a lot of resistance from people who are so deeply entrenched in very narrow or very traditional interpretation of Islam. It's also resulted in death threats and quite serious fatwas saying that I'm no longer a Muslim and I must be killed even. And that has led to increased security for myself and my family. And I'm not the only one in that situation. And that's all really sad. But the more we can open up safe spaces for debate, actually discuss these issues and say, look, I don't wish to see harm come to other people, and other people I disagree with, I'd like to have a discussion with them and live and let live effectively. It's an immense struggle because we're dealing with the very foundations of faith, a major world religion. So I've realized that the path is not as easy as I thought it might have been.